Things are changing and oh, can you hear that? I just feel things changing. I feel a really big energetic shift in my life, one that I've never felt before. So I've been away from family for about a year, and who I was with my family, of course, was shaped by what I was told, how I was raised, and everything like that. So being out on my own for a year, little by little, who I thought I was unraveling and unraveling. But I feel like right now is a really big pivotal moment because I'm looking at who I was, and the last of that foundation is crumbling. And I can feel this new version of myself coming through. And I've been getting this little new version of myself slowly here and there as I was unlearning things that I've learned growing up, just really seeing who I wanted to become. God, universe, or anything, whatever you believe in, is universe is really flipping the script on me, and it's kind of scary because it's so unknown. And I think a part of me is nervous to see who I become. When I'd listen to podcasts and stuff, there was this thing that people would say is oh, you're scared to become successful. That could be a block. It's you're scared to be successful. And I was always like, girl, I am not afraid of success. Bring it to me. Right here, I am ready. It turns out that I think that I am. And I'm scared of success because I feel like I grew up a people pleaser and fitting myself into a box that I thought fit everyone else's expectations. And because of that, I never really went after anything completely. When I was a child, yes, I did. But at some point when things started to get more real, I started to put myself into this box, a really scared box. And now that I'm slightly outside of the box, and I'm really seeing that around, this box is safe. This box is everything that I knew, everything that I was taught, everything that's comfortable. I can stay in this box. But I'm starting to I'm slightly outside of this box, and I'm really seeing how empty everything is. There's no shape anywhere. Nothing takes shape, right? If you can imagine that. Think of the unknown, the field, the universe is out there, everything. I can be, do, and be anything, right? But it's so scary because in this box, I'm so used to being a certain way. I know how to perform. I know how to show up. I know how to show up that's in a way that's comfortable for others. That's comfortable for me because it's all I've ever known. Now, stepping out of this box, it's so scary. And I think I'm scared of really stepping into myself and shining in my light. I halfway stood in myself. I halfway shined, I guess you can say. There have been moments in my life where you can see that I held light, right? I had potential there, but I never fully went into anything because I was scared. And I think I am scared of success because it's so unknown. What would that bring me? How would I show up to people that I know that they will see me differently because I'll be a different person? And that's something that I was really struggling with, is really fully full force going this way. And as I keep going down this path, it's I'm looking behind me and it's just crumbling and crumbling behind me. How people are used to me showing up is gonna crumble. It has been crumbling, and it's hard because it's how do you navigate? How do I share with you who I am now? Will you accept me? Will I be accepted? But that's just life. Life is change. It's constantly changing. And, for a while there at my family's house growing up, there was always this baseline of normality, this baseline of what to expect. So as I'm growing older, it's just it's going to keep changing. And change is scary because we just don't know what's on the other side. Do you have courage to take the step into that doorway where you don't know what's on the other side, or do you stay comfortable? Feelings of stagnancy. Let's talk about change and feelings of change and knowing things are changing. So as I said, things feel like they're crumbling, really crumbling, and I feel like universe is pushing me to make a next step. And this next step, I feel is gonna really transform my life and who I am, and really get me to that higher version, if you will. In my life right now, I live in an apartment. This is her. And I moved about a year ago into this apartment and it with my partner, and it served us so well. It was our first apartment together. It was kind of like a last minute thing, like can we get in? We need to like have an apartment kind of thing. And we grew into this apartment. We got our first couch, we got our first rug, we got pans and cutting boards and everything, and it was good, it was perfect. It's growth, it's everything. And it felt so nice coming home, being out late at night just to like giggle our way into our front door. It's beautiful. But this place does not feel like home anymore. And it's crazy because when we first got here, he was like, yeah, maybe we'll probably, it's not a forever thing, but we'll probably stay here for a couple years. Like a year ago in my head, I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to stay here long. Like I had a feeling, right? Now, fast forward to our lease. I didn't know how it went. So our lease is up in August and we never got an email about our lease being up, this and that, nothing about it. And we were planning on staying, actually. We were planning on staying. And like I said, up to a certain point, this place was like magical. We had no problems, there were no issues or anything like that. But then things started to happen that got us questioning. So for the first like 8 months, so 8 months, I would say, fine, perfect, like we would renew our lease again. Like at that point everything is nice, we didn't have any neighbors and everything was, we didn't have any issues, any serious issues with anything. But then we ended up getting neighbors upstairs, which is totally a normal thing. They stomp so much. Okay, listen, they can do whatever they want, right? I actually have gotten used to it and it's not a big deal to me, but at first it was dysregulating because we had spent so many months without that. And we're really blessed actually to have gone that many months without any neighbors. It was actually really nice. No, seriously, I actually got used to it. It's only now that I notice it because I'm recording and I'm like, I hope that doesn't go through. I don't know if you can hear it actually. So we're like, okay, that's fine. But then there started to be an infestation. I don't even want to, girl, I don't even want to, I don't want to say it. We saw a roach in here, okay? We saw a roach, and then a week or two goes by and we didn't see anything else, and then we saw another one, and then we had so many spiders. There's so many spiders in this apartment, and we're like, okay, we're not super messy people. I clean up after dinner, clean the counters, we're not messy people. I was like, is it us? No, I think there's just an issue going on with the property, which we come to find out there is. Okay, so that's number two, is that there's starting to be a bug infestation. I don't even want to say infestation because it's really not that bad. It's just that, like, we don't want bugs in the house. Is that too much to ask for? I hope not. We had been sending emails to the property manager and we weren't getting any responses. Like we needed something fixed, ghosted. We sent email about the bugs, ghosted. Like just nothing was getting communicated back with us. We're like, okay, this is weird. Like we haven't had this issue. And then when my partner would go talk to them, it was always closed. Come to find out, there was an issue with the management and they're actually switching up management right now. And we probably would have renewed our lease had it not been to this one last thing. And it was sudden because we are thinking like, our lease is coming up, we're gonna stay, right? And we're kind of contemplating stay though because like these things were like kind of stacking up where we didn't like the no communication, the bugs, the maintenance issues that we needed. Like things were just like getting a little like, we don't like that. And of course, with a new lease, oftentimes they raise the rent. So we're like, is it going to be worth it to stay if these things are not getting fixed? We're like on the fence, off the fence, and we're like, okay, we'll stay. We'll stay. We kind of decided. And then something happened, which I feel is like universe, God intervention or whatever, because like universe will really flip the script on you. If you are kind of leaning one way, they'll lean you back the other way because there is something that is on your path aligned for you. So we had like an amazing day and we were out and about. It was so nice and we're coming home and we're going down the street. Like I can literally see our gate from the stop sign. This chaotic driver out of nowhere. So it's a four-way stop. So we're going this way and then they turn this way, but we're coming to the stop sign and they cut like the yellow line that goes here. They cut into it, into our side, instead of making a proper like turn. They like cut into it like right in front of us, all crazy. They didn't stop at the stop sign or anything. And we're like, and Alex was like, whoa, like what was that? You know, normal response. It wasn't like he was like flipping them off or like going crazy. He's like, whoa, like what was that? And this guy did not like that. He turned around and he started to follow us into our apartment. He was like driving around us super fast, did another U-turn just to do another U-turn, and like he wanted to look at us, and he was like saying something, and then he turned back around and followed us into our apartment. Of course we kept going and we didn't stop at our apartment, and he followed us into the street, which was so scary because like we're having this nice day, and then all of a sudden, like it was so when I tell you it was so random and so unexpected. Why did that happen? Why? I was so scared. And he pulled up beside us like at a light, and he started like threatening us. And I've seen road rage before, and like people get crazy, let's just say. So I was scared. I was so scared. And I know that doesn't sound crazy, like, oh, someone just followed you. Girl, that could have ended worse. Anyway, so he was threatening us not to say anything. It gave me a lot of anxiety. So we didn't go home for a while. You know, I didn't feel safe being in that neighborhood. And so we kept driving around, and about an hour later, we came home, but like through the other gate because I was so scared. And that night, we had drinking coffee like at 2 p.m. the day before, and I did not sleep the entire night. It was so good, that coffee. That coffee was so good. And so I didn't sleep the whole night because that's just how I am. Like I couldn't sleep. And because I didn't have work the next day, I didn't mind it. I was like just laying in bed. I fell asleep at 6 a.m. and woke up at 8 a.m. So I only had 2 hours of sleep that day, the night before this happened. So had coffee this day, didn't sleep, had the whole nice day with my partner. That crazy thing happened where it gave me a lot of anxiety. Oh, and also, girl, it be your own self. I also had another coffee this day because we had things to do, and it was a Dalgona coffee. Oh my gosh, so delicious. But that thing keeps you up, girl. I haven't had it since, but it's really delicious. Anyway, don't want another night where I can't sleep. So I smoked because it helps me with sleeping. And at that point, like by the end of the night, I felt like I was okay and everything. And so I smoked because I'm like, I need to be able to sleep. And I might have done a hit too many, but I just wanted to make sure I was going to knock out. You know what I'm saying? Before bed, I do a meditation. It was a letting go meditation. I've done this meditation many times over. But the thing is, combining no sleep, taking a hit, and the thing that happened that day, it was probably not a good idea to combine all those things together, because in this meditation, I did have a good meditation, okay? I went deep into it, and I was letting go and letting go and letting go, right? The thing is, I got so offended. I got so offended. Like, how dare this happen in my reality? Like what had happened that day, I was so offended. And I was like, I do not deserve this. Why am I being put in situations that I do not deserve? Because and I was so upset in this meditation that I have lived my whole life people pleasing and trying to do things and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, and I get put in a situation like that. I do not deserve that. I do not. And I also realized that I do not feel safe where I'm living. Like I don't go out. I stay in my house, in my apartment after work. I don't go out and do things. I don't feel safe walking down the street. I just don't. And that like added on to that. And I realized I haven't felt safe here. And it's really not that bad. It's just my nervous system doesn't feel safe. I vibrated so hard in this meditation of like, I want more for myself. I saw myself in another place with my ideal living situation. Like I was so deep in this meditation. But the thing is, I vibrated so hard that I gave myself a panic attack. Like I went so deep into the meditation that I took off the headphones. I grabbed my heart because my heart was hurting. It was super hot. My heart was hot and it was hurting. It was hurting. And I was telling Alex, I said, I need to go to the hospital. I need to go. My heart. I was putting on my pajamas, like ready to go to the hospital. I'm really so blessed that Alex knew exactly what to do for me in that moment. And it took a really long time for me to get down from my panic attack. Like he got me down from it and then it came back and then got me down. I had so much anxiety and so much was revealed to me and I was like, this is crazy. I knew that that was a sign from universe because that was so random. After the little things like should we stay, should we go, like this adding up over, like, okay, we're gonna, when we finally decided to stay, girl, universe said, eek, no, let me put something. I feel like universe sometimes puts stuff on our path that is scary enough or it shakes the foundation enough for you to make a different choice. And that's exactly what that was, because that was scary enough and dangerous enough for me to make a different choice, but not anything to like hurt me. Although that panic attack was like in the meditation before I had the panic attack, I saw a different version, a different life for myself because I was so offended. I'm like, you know what? Why can't I have that life? I deserve that life. Why do I feel like I can't have it? Why can't I have this desire? Why is it okay for other people? Like, who do I think I'm going to turn into? A bad person because I'm going for what I want, because I'm asking for it and I know I deserve it? Because that right there down the street, I did not deserve that. We did not deserve that. I was so offended. And like, that's how I'm so sure that something is changing. And you know what? Ever since that night, I can't stand being in here. I can't. It feels stale. Everything about it. Even even to my partner, we do not like to be here anymore. Something flipped in us where it's like absolutely no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're going to start fresh, start new. One thing that was bothering us is like everywhere else is like much more expensive. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to stay, was because the rent here is cheaper. But is it really worth the effect that it has on our nervous system, on my nervous system? I don't think so. And I kept basing it off of around money, like around money. But then I remember, like, that is such a lack mindset. How do I know that I can't get income from somewhere else? How do I know that some there's so many ways that money can come in? And if I'm going to make this decision based on lack mindset and stay here because I'm fearing money, girl, bye. That is in that box that I was talking about earlier. That's like safeness. They're in the unknown. Anything can happen. And I'm learning this. This is something that I've learned and something that I'm still digesting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to look at the monetary because I feel it. There is a gut instinct. My intuition is telling me. Like, I'm finding all these ways why I'm scared to do it. I'm like, I'm looking at the negatives, but my intuition is telling me that if I move, I will be a different person. The person that I envisioned for myself, the one that I visioned in my meditation, the one that I've seen in previous meditations, the one that I feel that I've always wanted to be since I was young. Like, I feel her closer than ever. It's interesting that life sets it up to, like, there's these black mindsets that will keep you from that. But if I look past that and if I just base my decision off my intuition, the answer is to go. The answer is to choose that because I see a different version and it just doesn't make sense. If we're writing it down on paper, it doesn't make sense. But I have to trust myself. I have to trust myself and I have to trust universe. I know there's something happening if I move. I just know it. There's nothing for me here. So that's where I'm at. I hope my experience or my little story here helped you in what you're going through. I mean, I watch videos like this too, and I often like, wow, I'm going through that too. So I hope that we like someone is going through something similar, not too similar, because I don't want you guys being followed by anyone with anger or anything. That's crazy. And for what? That was offended is the word that I felt. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.